Hi, internet people. So, episode 2 of Preacher was on last night. So, Preacher did a double episode premiere, and I recapped the first episode yesterday, and I thought I would do a recap of the second episode for today. Preacher will be Mondays at 9, typically. So I'm planning recaps for Tuesdays, mostly. There might be a little bit of a switch up later in July, but that is because of something I'm doing. So anyway, Preacher episode 2 was set in an Indian casino, primarily, and no, I don't mean like the insensitive, like, Indian reservation casino, like, no, like, Indian. Which I thought was, like, weirdly the funniest thing ever, the whole episode. I was like, but they're at an Indian casino. But this is, like, India. I don't know why that struck me. It was very late at night when I watched this. Maybe that was it. So we actually start off right at the moment they cut off where Jesse is trying to get the Saint of Killers to stop and Genesis isn't working, and then all the gun aficionados pop out and he tells them to stop the Saint of Killers and they like open fire. One woman even has like a grenade launcher. They think they killed him. They didn't. He tells them to run. Everyone is running. The Saint of Killers open fires on everybody. Jesse is grabbed by Cassidy, and they run back into the hotel to find Tulip, and Tulip is watching the news because it's talking about Anvil and how Anvil blew up, and so she's upset because Walter was still there, and so he was like her only family, and she gets into that in more detail later, but they have to get out of this hotel, but the Saint Killers is after them. Cassidy tries to get them out of a window and it's closed, and so Tulip helps him like jimmy it open, and a guy comes in and buys a soda with no arm, and he accidentally gets a ginger ale, and we learn that ginger ale is good for bleeding, which I had no idea. Good to know. They escape, they peel out, the Saint of Killers is super pissed, and then they keep going, and they're at like a gas station, and they stop, and Cassidy sees these shirts that say, the Almighty Ganesh, I think that's it, Almighty, I think, and he's like, oh, wait, I didn't tell you, and we like tunnel in, and he's like, I saw this guy, and it's the angel, and they're like, oh, it's one of the angels, so they like go to the Indian casino, and, the whole thing, it's called like the Great Mumbai Tower and Casino, something like that. They go to find Fior, except no one can remember that his name is Fior, and we see what happened to Fior since the end of last season, and it's so depressing because DeBlanc is dead. So, see, I remember their names this time. So Fior has been like continuously killing himself because he doesn't know what to do. He even like sleeps with a woman and then shoots himself after giving her all his casino winnings. But then like he kills himself at the lounge singer's performance and becomes the magician because all of his magic acts are that he dies and literally comes back to life. So he's been doing that over and over, and he's got really, really popular, and like it's a big deal. So they like go to talk to him because Cassidy's like, no, like they decide that's what's gonna work because the angels talk to the Saint of Killers, like this huge thing. And then Fior is like, no, I'm not gonna help you. No, because I don't care. Except he didn't know God was missing, which is interesting. And so they're like, oh, great. And Cassidy's like, no, I'll handle it. I have a specific skill set. And Jesse's like, what are you going to do? How long is this going to take? He's like, 2 minutes, or 2 hours and 45 minutes. And so they split up. Jesse and Tulip, hang out. We learn, well, they like go to the bar. He finds her at the bar. She talks to him about her feelings about Walter and the town of Anvil and all of that. And then they go up to the room and have sex, but we don't see it. Then Jesse's like, we can go to the bathtub next, because she's like, what are we going to do next? There's hair on me. Sorry. So she's like, what are we going to do next? He suggests the bathtub. Then they have a longer conversation where she says, like, we're going after God still. And he's like, yes, we're going after God still. All of that. And then she's like, close her bathtub, and then Jesse proposes, and they're gonna get married in the lobby, and then, Tulip later, like, there's a commercial cut, and then we come back, and they do a very intense, like, go up Dominic Cooper's whole body. I was like, this is very, like, female view, like, that was not, I'm used to, like, male view in shows, and I was like, this is, someone decided that was a good idea, like, I was not expecting a big close-up of Dominic Cooper's body in spandex boxer briefs. I'm not quite sure what underwear cut that is. And then Tulip is in his, like, preacher shirt, and she hits him because she's like, you always said getting married was stupid, and he's like, no, you said that, and she's like, well, okay. But then they, like, decide to get married, so they go downstairs, and this whole time, Cassidy is with Fior, and they're high. He initially gets him high on Speedball, which involves a ton of ingredients. I don't even know. But he accidentally kills him, and then he removes the amount of heroin, and they get crazy high, and it's the funniest freaking sequence in the world. Like, they're all over the place, doing crazy stuff. They're reading Archie comics, they play basketball. Cassidy is talking to him about DeBlanc, and what happens to angels when they die, and about the Saint of Killers, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, the whole freaking thing was amazing, and I'm still not 100% sure if they had sex or not. I'm not, because we had 3 minutes left, and DeBlanc was totally making bedroom eyes at Cassidy, and they were in a pillow fort with ice cream. So, you know, it could have happened. They're both, like, millennials. Cassidy's probably not millennials old, but whatever. They're both multiple hundreds of years old, so, I mean, whatever. Although Cassidy is still obsessed with foreskin. Like, he was talking about it possibly being in everything, and then DeBlanc said it could be in the ice cream. Or he said it could be in the ice cream, and then DeBlanc said that. DeBlanc. Fior. They called him DeBlanc earlier. It's Fior. Fior said that's why it was creamy. I don't even know. So Jesse and Tulip are getting married, they get the thing, they go to get drinks, and Tulip was like, she sees someone, and then she's like, I'm gonna go change my shirt, and she leaves to go upstairs, and, yeah, that doesn't go well, because it turns out that the guy she saw was named Gary, and Gary is a guy who works for Victor, and she needs to call Victor, and they get into a crazy fight, and Tulip beats the crap out of this guy with the wedding buzzer. It's nuts. Like, that scene was intense. Like, there was a lot of violence happening. But it's all connected to New Orleans, and Victor, who, yeah, I have some thoughts. So, okay, that happens, then Cassidy comes in and is like, what happened? And Tulip was like, don't tell Jesse, and she, like, runs downstairs to talk to him. She does not want to get married. Cassidy's apparently cleaning up the hotel room, and then they, like, aren't getting married, and then Fior is going to help them, possibly. He says he'll take care of the Saint of Killers. So they're going to New Orleans because they're following the jazz, because Frank, Fior's assistant, says you need to follow the music, which, sure, they're going to New Orleans because that's where the good jazz is, and Tulip is not happy about that because it's where Victor is. So then Fior gives a final show after Jesse says, find peace. He does that, and then because the Saint of Killers is following Genesis, Saint of Killers shows up, and Fior then tells him where they're going, and then asks him to do him a favor, kind of. And then the Saint of Killers literally shoots him in the head at his own show, and he dies and does not regenerate. And people boo the fact that he's dead, which is really depressing. So we have no idea where angels go when they die. We know God loves jazz, and that New Orleans is going to be a very terrible place for Tulip. Yeah, okay. So in the preview for next week, we're in New Orleans, and Cassidy mentions Dennis, who shows up in the comics and is, Dennis is not okay. Just, I don't trust Dennis based on the comic books. I'm also wondering if in this setup, Tulip is married to Victor, and that's why she and Jesse can't get married. Like, she got married to him for some reason. I keep thinking that, like, that's why she would call off the wedding. I don't know for certain. I just keep thinking that. In the comics, Tulip is like a hired gun, so I'm assuming it's something similar to that in the show, but I'm not 100% sure how they're working that, but I don't, oh my goodness. This episode was just so hilarious, and there was still a ton of gore, and that dude with one arm just, like, raving about root beer, I was like, oh my god, I could not handle him. I could not. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what this, like, it is definitely gorier, and I want to say campier, but in a good way, like a well-done camp. I don't know. The speedball scene was cracking me up. So I am very excited for next week. It's also definitely still on Monday, even though the 4th of July is the next day, but it's on, because I checked. They also did Talking Preacher after the second episode, but I watched part of it. I'm going to watch the rest of it while I'm uploading this video. I love Talking Preacher because they get into a lot of like nitty-gritty stuff, but I wanted to make sure I got the recap done before I got too involved with Talking Preacher. So far it was really good. I need to get back to it because they're talking about like getting into character for season 2 and like working on the show for season 2 and music choices, and I do know that the actor who played Cassidy has naired himself at a certain point, and yeah, no, you can't nair your lower parts. No, it's not safe. But anyway, he mentioned that. Maybe this is why foreskin is such a big deal in season 2. I don't even know. I don't know. But I will be here recapping Preacher every week, typically on Tuesday. I know for certain is going to be a week where this does not go up on a Tuesday unless I like pull a rabbit out of a hat or a television show out of the air. Because I'm going to be traveling for like the first, well, not for the first time in forever, but I don't travel very often. I'm really excited, but I'm gonna miss like a week of shows, or a weekend / a Monday of shows, so stuff will get bumped around. But don't worry about it. These will happen every week, in some capacity, way, shape, or form. But yeah. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments below or over on Twitter. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. You can find me on Twitter, which I already mentioned, at Kleffnotes, on my blog, kleffnotes.wordpress.com, Eric from the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and I run their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, Internet people.